if you say 6 days, then of course now you got 6 days where somebody misses, guaranteed, and then you don't have any way to deal with it. The other issue, the question was talking about how you deal with whether a child that needs more or get more days or something like that. That would be an equal protection violation. We couldn't do that anyway. So that, I just want to make sure that was clear on that. But I understand the written excuse as being one that you can do, but there's really a big discretion that's been allowed for the parents to not have to go to the doctor to bring a note in.
Okay. Ms. Bowen?
Thank you. I just wanted to clarify when Ms. Yates said the 3 consistent, consecutive days, and then Superintendent Burton said, am I understanding that it's 9 days in the semester? I heard you say 9, if they did 3 and 3.
That's right.
That's the absolute limit or whatever. Should we put that in there maybe? Or have the 9 day, something, and then that would solve it across the board, maybe?
Yes. Go get it.
I just thought maybe that might hit 2 birds with 1 stone on that. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I had.
Okay. And I like this, like I say this too also before Mr. Mel, she still need to speak, she's a board member, one of the committee members, is that I think it's working. I know at Huntington last year, we was one of them that was talking that we had so many students missing. This year, we get the first award. I don't think anything need to be changed, I'm sorry, because the parents got that message before school started. Parents that's when they start sending them to school. Now, I didn't know about Miss Hampton. I know that's a big school. You have to look out for these big schools, like a Huntington and a Turner, and a school like that, Captain Shreve, Bird. These are the ones that brings the attendance down because you got so many. Now that the parents are doing what they need to do, we don't need to, that's me. We don't need to change anything because it was laid out by the administration before school started. The principals had a meeting. They had a meeting with the parents. We need to stick to what's happening. And that means I know I'm looking good at Huntington, Turner, Walnut Hill. Those are the big schools. And the kids are coming to school now using these and remember now, at one of the schools, they had a child miss 54 days. Last year, kindergarten. What did that baby learn? Nothing. Mama said she was homeschooling, and then she changed, and said she was this, she was that. We need to let it, it's working. Why change something we need to work? Okay, it's working. Now that's my peel on it. I'm gonna say my spiel on it. Okay, Mr. Mel.
Thank you, Ms. Bell. I think you were going for, I believe we can do something with the verbiage in that statement just to make sure that it's clear, that they understand. I told them 9 days on a general. It was so long ago when I was a parent, and with a young child. But if my child was sick for a full day, and I couldn't get no control, I'm going to take my child to the doctor. Mm-hmm. So I'm just not really understanding. But some parents are more medical than others, so they know exactly what be going on with their children from prior illnesses, and they can follow through. But what we need to just consider is that we need the children in their classroom, in their seat daily. So I think that would be the bottom line on that. And Katie, he doing real good. He doing real good. Uh-huh.
And let me sit there, Katie. She said babysitting right here today.
But if we can just consider working with the verbiage in that statement.
That's all.
And I believe that would be really good for the parent and for us.
He ain't got
So
no
we don't have
trouble.
to
Don't keep
explain
like
it.
that. Let him run. Mary back there, she get him. Where's he going?
You ready, Ms. Bates?
Oh, okay. Oh, no, I'm just trying to make sure, okay. I'm helping to babysit over here today. Okay, we will now move to our next agenda, and we need to wait for Ms. McLean because she got the next item.
I'm just gonna make sure there's.
Okay, the next part on our agenda is discuss the CPSB policy, EFAB. Ms. McLean, I think everybody watching him, so we'll see.
All right.
Let him just go on, as long as he don't get in no trouble.
Going straight for the plug.
Oh, Lord, he going to the plug, baby, no man. Lord.
Okay, do your stuff, I'll watch it.
Thank you.
when we say it takes a village,
Take a
it
village.
really takes a village. Okay, well,
Run the card.
this might scare him enough to where he stops, we'll see. Okay. Let me
It's you.
find my place
Oh,
on
okay,
here.
baby.
Number 9. Maybe it would be, well, it's not,
So you can hear.
I don't actually have it on any of this paperwork. My
It's here. It's here. She got it for you.
proposed, here it is.
The baby, okay.
Okay. So I'm proposing that we add to our current social media policy, which already has 10 stipulations regarding social media and employee use of social media. I'm just asking that we add an 11th, that employees shall not post or share content that supports, incites, or glorifies unlawful violence or threats of harm toward any individual or group, which has a tendency to disrupt workplace efficiency, undermine public trust, and/or poses a reasonable risk of harm to others. This isn't saying that you can't, like, support our troops or something and say, you know, like, if we're deployed somewhere, say, go USA for this. It's not saying you can't support an MMA fight, but, you know, if we had that big fight in downtown Shreveport that went really viral the other day, so if we have an employee that's sharing that, and maybe that's their friend whooping up on the other person, and they're like, go friend, get him, or something, then that makes us look really bad if that's an employee doing that. And so this just allows our administration additional tools. You better stop running away. That just allows our administration additional tools to deal with situations like that.
Okay. Okay, Ms. McLean, I'm gonna say something too. Then I'm gonna open it up to our committee members. What I'm going to say then, you're saying that employees, okay, that's employees, all employees. Now, what you say about school board members, I'm gonna add that to it. School board members, because school board members do the same thing, let's be honest. They put on social media this and that, so if we gonna do this, then I don't know if it's the law or not, the lawyer's here, that we need to add anybody that deals with the school system, and we represent the, we part of the school system, do they apply to us also, school board members? And the reason I'm adding that to yours, then we'll discuss it, okay? Now, Mr. Lawyer, check on that for me while we go through this here, and let me know if I'm legal or nothing.
You are.
Say if we're going to add school board members also.
Well, you are an employee.
We are employees, that's right. Okay, thank you. So, break it down for me then. Okay, we're employees, so we're talking about all employees, including school board members. Okay, I want to make sure that's said out. Can you, like Ms. J said, spell it out? School board members too. Now, Mr. Mayor, you on the committee?
Ms. Bell, I think I'm a little confused here, just so you can help me understand.
Okay, sweet baby.
All right, now, this implicates that the people that are sitting in the audience, Mr. Burden up here and the other people that are working for the school system, if they decide to write an opinion or say something that would imply something that's happening with violence or whatever, like you said with the fight the other day, I noticed that we had people from all walks of life that wrote stuff under there because I scrolled it. And right, but my opinion is my opinion, so I don't have to share it with anyone. So everybody doesn't feel that way. So if they write it and we scroll, and I guess this would be the young man's job on the front row here to go through and make sure and check and say that Tom Henry is an employee of Caddo School, so we have to reprimand Tom. Is this what we're saying?
I think it-
I'm just trying to,
Talk to-
I'm just
Okay,
trying to,
Okay, Mr. Lawyer?
how do you, how
You want the
would we
lawyer
be
to answer
able
that?
to-
We have,
Wait just a minute, sweet baby, sweet baby.
Okay.
I think Mr. Lawyer was gonna handle that, then we're gonna come back to you.
Does that,
I don't
is that
mind.
what it means? We're gonna have someone to scroll, look, see,
No.
or someone else would call and say, well, Tom Henry wrote this and I want you all to do something about it.
Okay, and it doesn't do anything as far as that's concerned.
Okay.
What it amounts to is, this policy has a safety feature to it, and that is the second half of it.
Okay.
All right.
Be a little loud, Mr.
Which was added
Yeah,
to
speak
it.
to the mic.
Please speak to the mic, Mr.
Reggie,
Adrian,
speak to the
Okay,
please.
sorry. Basically, what it amounts to is that it would have to also have a tendency to disrupt the workplace efficiency, which means it has to have an effect on how they do their job and how it affects the school district, okay? Groundskeeper and what they say may not affect how they do the job and all of that, okay? But it may be that if it's someone in a classroom that's teaching, that it affects, how they're able to do their job. If it disrupts the workplace or undermines public trust, if you do, what that means is, and these are legal, of course, things that basically say it has to affect the school district where you actually have an effect on the school district,
Okay.
where it breaks the school district down, causes trouble for the school district. You cannot perform your job effectively because of what you said or doing or continue to do, okay? Or if it poses a risk of harm to others, whatever it is. So those are the safety features that's attached to this policy in order to make certain that it does. Now, it does, I would say that more than likely it does not apply to board members because you are an elected official and, so, and it would have to affect your own entire body, the city, the school board also, so probably was never intended, I don't believe it was ever intended to be board members, but certainly someone could complain and say, you wrote something too, so why am I being chastised over, so that, this whole thing will require that someone would investigate, look at what's going on, see how it's affected. If you've got something going on that keeps kids from coming to school because you got a person at the school who did something, said something that's causing a problem in the classroom, disrupt the, students, I can't give you a limit of what someone could do that is being caused by social media. Now, you recognize that people have a right to be able to use social media on the First Amendment, and this is putting some guardrails on it. It has to affect the school district in a negative manner, some kind of way, in order for this to go into effect. And it
Okay.
has to be extreme. It can't just be, we don't like what the person said. It has to be more about what it is that actually hurts the district. There are comments that were being made about, a person that a lot of people loved and a lot of people had issues with. That person this would not affect that necessarily because it has to be how it truly affects the district, not that you don't like what the person said. It has to actually affect the person. Otherwise, you are stopping people from speaking. And that's the first thing you don't want. That's the First Amendment. You don't want to stop anyone from being able to speak what they believe. And there's got to be some limits on it.
Ms.
how
Mary
do you-
Jamel still on.
Okay. Well, what's the determining factor? Maybe I'm missing something. Okay. This is a broad area that we're going to cover, which I can understand that we want some control. But it's a broad area that you're covering, so we got points or something that we look for?
No.
Somebody, but we're just determining that I call you and said, I read this and I want you to do something about it.
You know it when you see it.
All right, I
It's
know it when I
almost
see
like-
it.
It's almost like pornographic stuff. You know it when you see it. It has gone too far. Whatever it is.
So this
it's
is
gone too-
continuous
It's a
with somebody
continuous
doing
deal.
something continuous.
And it's
Yeah,
got to
just
be
saying.
something
Okay,
that
okay, I got it.
really does affect the school district, okay? It's not something that's, just because somebody don't like what they say, that you can discipline that person over. If you think about, teachers have certain things that's required of them because of their ethics and everything else.
Okay.
Which is pretty broad. But I would say that it would have to be very limited.
Okay, well, I'll talk to you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Ms. President, you have.
Thank you. And also, I just want to harp on, let's not take people's freedom of speech away. Now, I understand if it's some kind of hate stuff. I totally understand that. But then you have people that do stuff to us as board members on Facebook. I mean, I remember they had, when we voted for a superintendent they didn't like. They put my picture of Martin next to Martin Luther King. I have a dream, I have this person, I have a scheme. And you see people, actual employees liking it.
Thank you.
But that's their personal opinion. I can't say, hey, Miss Stanford, hey, this person liked this post. Can you please make sure they're disciplined? No, that's their opinion. You know, sir, I don't want us to, there is a thin line in between getting in between stuff we ought to be looking at and then people's personal opinion and personal the way they view things. I agree, us as board members, we write things that we often disagree with. Employees do the same thing. To me, if it's not harming a child and if it's not uplifting something that is just off the wall negative, I think this policy already spells out a whole lot. And I do believe as many trolls as we have out there for the school board stuff, I think somebody, if it was bad enough, somebody would bring it to our attention and saying, you know, let's stop it. But until we see something just totally off the walls, I think, I think this policy pretty much spells it out.
It's your policy.
Mr. Attorney, is there anything you just that you see that you could that needs to really be tweaked or changed? Mr. Abrams?
Well, I added the information there for the balancing test, number one, okay? It's not going to be easy for anyone to just be held responsible under this particular policy, okay? And it actually says what the Supreme Court would say, and that is that if you have free speech, it has to truly affect your job site and what you do and how it affects it before you could ever do anything, okay? And, that's a very strong test that would be very difficult to bring in action against someone. And it's that way for a reason.
So.
You could always do without this policy.
Oh, okay.
Without that paragraph, for the same reason. And that is, if you have someone without these words in number 11, if someone does enough that...
Well, tell me where you are, because I'm trying to,
Okay.
I really want to.
Without number 11,
Okay.
if someone brings such disrepute to the school district and can't educate a child because of what they're doing,
We don't have a number 11.
you don't have the paragraph? Y'all not looking at...
Oh, that's the actual motion. That hasn't been added yet, has it?
Well, that's the language to add number
The
11.
language to add.
That's
Okay.
number 11, that's what is added. I'm saying you don't have to have it, you can still discipline someone if they do things that are so bad toward the district on social media that you still could go because they should have known better than to do what they were doing, okay? Put it like that, because it's going to be something pretty egregious for it to get to that level.
Okay. All right.
It's almost like teachers getting on this, on social media and exposing themselves or something like that.
Right. Now,
I mean,
that's
so
a definite
So we
no-no.
know that that's going to get them out.
Right.
Okay? So that's what I mean. You know it when you see it. It's going to be so bad that you didn't have to have these words to say you need it in the policy because you could do it already.
Okay, committee member, you assume it's,
Right, yeah, I understand. I get Miss McLean's intent, but I think, I don't want to handcuff any teachers against their First Amendment rights. Thank you.
Ms. McLean? I think you last up.
Okay, yeah. So I would like to make a couple points. When we entered ourselves into the arena of being elected officials,
you.
we entered ourselves into the arena of being criticized as public officials. And so I don't think, I mean, I don't work for Keith Burton, I work for the people that elected me. And there's a difference there, because I'm accountable to those people that elected me, and the people within Caddo Parish, I'm not accountable to Keith Burton, no offense, Mr. Burton. Still love you either way, but I don't work for you. But we have in this policy that everyone has in front of you, Mr. Abrams just mentioned if a teacher is, posting sexually explicit materials, we have a policy for that. This is just a policy for if they're inciting violence. And I'm not saying supporting an MMA fight or supporting a football game or saying, LSU, I hope you kick Alabama's butt or something. It's unlawful violence if they're inciting violence, just like we have. Number 7 on this policy in front of everyone is if you are a teacher and you have an OnlyFans, that's going to make national news. That's going to make us look really bad. Okay? Number 11 is if you're a teacher and you're calling for someone's murder or some other kind of illegal violence, that's probably going to bring national news to Caddo and make us look really bad. So and by the time it happens, we don't have this additional policy just as extra teeth to help give our administration these additional tools to deal with it. So I would like to just have it in place before it happens, just like we have this don't post sexually explicit or drug-related references clause in number 7. I don't see why we wouldn't also want to minimize harm from an employee posting about inciting violence.
Okay. Anyone else? Anybody from, that's not board, not committee meeting, committee member like to say anything? Okay. Mr. Burton, is there any input from the staff or you?
No, ma'am. Staff, because it does focus on unlawful violence or threats of harm, that would impact the school district in a negative manner, or it affects the employee's ability to do their job. Ms. Stanford points out that this really is also reflective of policy GBRA, which is employee conduct. And so because of that, staff's in support.
Okay. Okay, visitor session. The Caddo Parish School Board welcome your input and comments regarding items that are on the committee meeting agenda. If you like to speak regarding the item on today's committee meeting agenda, please come to the podium, state your name, address for the record, and then make your remarks to the entire board. Please limit your comments to no more than 3 minutes. A time clock on the monitor screen will help you be aware of your time. When the time runs out, your time is up. It is the board policy not to respond individually to members of the audience. When appropriate, the board may refer concerns to the staff to be addressed. At this, a public meeting, we ask you to refrain from referring to personnel by name or incident. And according to the school board policy, derogatory statements about or directed at a school board member, an employer, and other person shall not be allowed. Okay, Ms. Glover?
Good morning, members of the board. John Glover, 9100 Walker Road, apartment 217, Shreveport, Louisiana, zip code 71118. When it was that I looked over your agenda for this morning to deal with the policy review committee, I went to board docs to look at the policy itself. What I'm having a problem with is I have nothing to compare what's on board doc with what you're changing or anticipating changing. So that's a problem for me. If it were sort of like when you all did the policy back on October 24th, there was a strikeout, we could see what the changes were. And we've been able to see that prior to now, but we weren't given that situation this time. Same thing for the employees. And though you all have addressed that much of what is included in this policy has already been addressed, if you're going to change what was there, give us the ability to see what it is that you're changing. If you're adding in, then add in. You used to do it in blue, and when you struck out, you did it in red. So we knew there were changes there. But this, now that you've given us, shows us nothing to be able to work with. And I'd ask for your consideration in the future when you bring such changes about, so that we'll see, because if you go on board docs and put that new document out there, it gives us nothing to be able to compare to. Thank you all.
Any other visitors? Okay, Jordan.
Jordan Thomas, 1726 Line Ave, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71101. I wanted to just say from a teacher perspective on student attendance, I remember whenever I was a teacher at Walnut Hill, and I would have a student who was absent for multiple days, and they would say, "Miss Thomas, did I miss any work whenever I was out?" And I said, "No, the world quit spinning because you weren't here." And I taught middle school, so that was funny to them. But I want to say that the importance of the students being in the classroom, and in fact, last year with the Louisiana Federation of Teachers, we were sponsoring HB 391, which talked about fair teacher evaluations, which aligned where now if a student has 10 plus absences in a semester, that student cannot be counted towards a teacher's evaluation. A teacher cannot be effective if a student is not in a classroom, period. We understand there are extenuating circumstances just like there are for our teachers and our staff, and of course we're always receptive to those things, but as a teacher, the only way you're going to engage a student and educate a student is if they're in the classroom. Thank you.
Very good. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Okay, 1.07. I really think that now that we talked about both policies, don't we have to do a little changing or add something, Mr. the lawyer, Mr. Abram?
As it wants to change or add
If not, I'm gonna put it up for, we're not gonna change? What? Okay, Ms. McLean?
I would move to erase this entire child performers clause out of the attendance policy, JBD.
Please make that a motion. If you're gonna do it, and somebody had a second.
Oh, no seconds? Okay, so we're gonna let child performers miss
Six,
20 days a
okay.
year, but regular students can only
They're
miss
not,
6.
they're in virtual, okay. All righty. Anything else that you want to, since you brought these up, anything else?
Okay,
What do you
yeah.
want to do with your other?
I would like to move to recommend to the Caddo Parish School Board the following revision to policy EFAB. Employees shall not post or share content that supports, incites, or glorifies unlawful violence or threats of harm toward any individual or group which has a tendency to disrupt workplace efficiency, undermine public trust, and/or poses a reasonable risk of harm to others.
Okay, let me go back over this right. For your policy for absent access, we all agreed that we will not change
You
anything.
cannot do that. You cannot stop her from making a motion.
Oh, no, I didn't stop her from making the motion. I want to ask for the next one. Okay, we got it, okay, go on. Yeah, okay, because I wanted to correct something. That's all, go on, make your motion.
I just did.
She made the motion. Do we need a second?
Gotta have a second on
A second.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and second that we move to recommend the policy employees of social media, right? That's what, okay, all in favor, yay.
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 All opposed, nay. Mr. Mel, I didn't hear anything, we didn't hear nothing. You said what?
As long as staff is in agreement, it's fine with me.
So that's yay. I gotta have it. That's a tie.
No, it's not.
No, she
2-2.
said yay.
She said yay?
You said
Oh,
nay.
okay. Okay, I said nay, okay. All right. Vote, electronic vote. And I can say my reason for I said Can I give you my reason?
No, Dottie, it's
Y'all don't want
over.
my reason? I already said it out loud anyways, I think about it now. Okay. That's fine. Okay, now, we will bring this before the board on the next meeting, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and I'd like to make a statement. This is not on this. It's not about this. Huh? The next meeting. I can do an announcement? That's not on this committee? Yeah, okay, the board minute. Okay, it's not time. Okay, Lord Jesus. Okay, move. Okay, Ms. Yates.
Wait.
Motion to adjourn.
Hold on, wait a minute.
I just want to do an announcement, that's all.
Hey, first of all, hey, I'm the chairman. Go ahead with your announcement.
All I want to do is think,
No,
since
that's
some
not
have
how it
some.
works.
Go ahead with your announcement.
Okay, after the meeting adjourned, I'd like to make an announcement. Thank you. All agree to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn, yes.
And then, we gotta,
Hey, y'all don't know what y'all asking for
all
after
it
the meeting's
moved
over.
is to adjourn the meeting. It's been moved that the meeting is adjourned until the board meeting. Now, all I want to do was thank the community members that's here for all that you did to help us to bury those sweet babies. That's all I want to do. Thank you to the community. And one thing about, I'm gonna say about Caddo community, we are number one. I don't care what nobody say. So thank y'all. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you. I'm through with my meeting.